giving you useful and practical tips to help you make more money selling travel. This is the Art of Selling Travel Podcast, and here to guide you through it all, your host, Glenda Beagle.
Welcome back. Here we are with another episode of the Art of Selling Travel Podcast. Once again, I am your host, Glenda Beagle, and I can't wait to dive into this episode. So this episode comes from some conversations that I've been having with travel advisors along the way, and also to a little bit of what I had as a part of a presentation when I gave a presentation for Travefy not too long ago here. And the question is, who is your competitor really? Perhaps you can hear it in the background. My current competitor for the airways right now is my cat crying. But no, really. Let's talk about who it is that's actually your competitor. Because if we don't understand fully who our competitors are in the market, who our competitors are for our clients' attention, and who our competitors are for our clients' wallets, it's going to help, or it's going to dictate a lot of decisions that we make. Competitors keep us from charging more. They keep us from taking risks because we're always in fear of what will happen, if that competitor comes along. Are they going to be what takes away a booking? Are they going to be what it is that we're going up against? Is that why you can't charge a fee? You can't charge a fee because your competitor might be cheaper? Well, the traditional thoughts are that other travel advisor are the competitors. The big warehouse, that Costco that we've been talking about, the online travel advisors, Amazon. Oh heavens, I don't know if you saw that recently here for Amazon Prime Day, at least up here in Canada. I'm not sure if Amazon Prime Day was the exact same day down in the States, but they partnered with, what was it, Priceline or something like that. That's going to be a potential game changer. At some point, somebody's got to be looking into how much more of the world Amazon can control. But the other thing that came up, and I thought that was really interesting when I was asking who the competitors were, because a lot of these came up. And a lot of times these are the go-to, it's the other travel advisor in the Facebook group in the community where somebody asked how much does it cost to use a travel advisor? And, I don't charge a fee. I don't charge anything. I'm the same price as the internet. I'm this or I'm that. And a lot of times we look at that as being our competitor. But what I actually found really interesting during the Travefy talk was the amount of people that thought they themselves were the competitor. And, that's one I hadn't thought of before, but really and truly it is. And in some ways, you are your biggest competitor. Now, some of us have an internal competitive nature, so that could actually be a good thing. We could spur ourselves on to do bigger, better things all the time. And use that energy and that motivation to really help push us towards that next goal. But the other thing is with being in competition with yourself is that unfortunately, and this is kind of what I felt in reading the comments back after, is that I don't think people thought of it as a good thing. I don't think people thought of themselves being their competitor as that thing that's going to push them on. And instead, it was the thing that was going to hold them back. In fact, if you are at all lacking in confidence, every time you take that extra long pause, every time you talk too fast because you're getting really, really nervous and you just want to get it all out there and you don't want to have that super long pause in there, you're allowing your client to make a decision as to what's going on. You're allowing them to decide that they're not sure they can trust your confidence. See, your clients need you to have so much confidence that they can borrow some from you. And I get it. There's a lot of reasons why we might pause, why we might not feel the way we want to feel about things. But the answers are out there. Always know that there is a way to get the answers. There's always a way to fix the problem. There's always an opportunity out there for you. We'll talk about confidence in another episode. But you want to make sure that you have so much confidence left over, your clients can borrow it from you. But here's the deal. Here is the reality about competition. Competition for your travel client is not necessarily the travel agent down the street. It is not necessarily the travel agent not charging a fee. It's not necessarily the big box setter. It's not necessarily any of the things that we've listed up till now. In reality, it's things like saving for college and university tuition for their kids, the mortgage and the car payments, the time away from the office, the time away from the family, all of the things that go into everything that's always going on. Can I afford to go on this vacation? Can I afford to take time off work? Can I afford to be away from my family? Can I afford to do all of these different sorts of things? Your clients are looking to you to reassure them that they're making the right decision. I remember years ago having a client that came to me and he said, I really need to take my wife on a vacation. And I'm like, yeah, no, absolutely. He's like, no, you don't understand. I won't be married if we don't get this time away. We have to get away. Well, at that point, it didn't matter what a trip cost, because to him, his marriage was what was important. And so often we trap ourselves in thinking everything is about the price and that everything is about what things cost in terms of dollars. We don't look at what it's going to cost in terms of life, in terms of success, in terms of lifestyle, in terms of freedom, in terms of all of these things that so many people actually hold value in. So how do you compete against those things that aren't even travel? Well, the biggest thing is to make sure that everybody recognizes what it is that you're talking about. You know, when I do a consultation with my clients, it's usually not a lot about travel. We have conversations about some of these other things that might be going on. You know, what are some of the reasons you might not be able to travel right now? What are some of those things that we need to work around? Is there something going on that we need to be aware of? You know, all of those different sorts of things out there. People will continue to put off spending money until they see value in what it's for. We don't want to bankrupt them or leave them homeless, clearly, but we need to show them the value. In this case of that client, we needed to show him the value. And actually, in this case, I didn't even have to show him because he was able to recognize it. But trust me, there are so many clients that don't recognize that value. He saw the value in what it would do for his marriage. When we don't have context around things, when we don't explain or give an opportunity to discuss, people just default back to price. I've said it on many episodes before, so if you're a longtime listener, you've probably heard me talk about this. If you don't know what to talk about or what to compare it to or put any context in it, the only option left is to compare it to price. So if you want to have clients that are not dictated by price, that are not completely focused on price, you need to know what it is that they value. Because until you know what they value, you won't know what they see value in and what they see value in spending their money on. People are looking for you to assure them that this is the right choice for you. As much as we all have a fear of missing out, we have a much bigger fear of messing up. This is your opportunity to show your clients why you're the right choice, why going on this vacation that they have been putting off for years is the right choice. If anything has been taught to us in the last couple of years, nothing's promised. There is always going to be something that's going to come along and mess up the plans. So you know what? It's time to go on that vacation. Next time you're talking to a client and they're just not quite sure if now's the right time, ask them what it will take for it to be the right time. Perhaps they do need to have a little bit more in the bank. Like I said, nobody's here to bankrupt clients or make them homeless or anything like that. But you definitely want to have the conversation. And instead of defaulting within yourself to think that they're competing with you on price and other such, you want to make sure that you're setting up the context for what it is that you're going to do for your client. If you were around in 2020 and beyond, then you have ample experience in what happens with those online travel companies or the big box center when things go sideways. You, professional travel advisor, are exactly what your clients need. You have the experience, the wisdom, and the context in order for them to be able to have the best possible vacation. And should something go sideways, we all hope it won't, but in the event it does, you have the connections to help ease the burden and make things better. Coming up next week, we have another fabulous episode, and I can't wait to share it with you. We're going to be trying something a little bit different. In the meantime, if you are loving these episodes, please make sure that you click the button to follow and leave a review. That's how we help other travel advisors see this episode, see all the episodes that are out there. And once again, if you're out there in the social lands, come find me on Instagram at Art of Selling Travel, or you can find me on LinkedIn. Until next week.